Hey everybody. I thought I owed you guys a close-up, and I thought the pun of the Bready Buncheon was a little too good to pass up, but then they all just finished eating now that I managed to get the stream started. And it kind of looks like litter box time for most everybody, except Flower here. Hi, Flower. She's got a lot to say right now. She's going to talk some more too, I bet. She's a little bit perturbed by the fact that the faculty has been hanging out around her kittens and around the gate. You can see in her stance and her ears forward the fact that she is a little bit worked up. But with that said, I think she's been doing very, very well. And we're trying to sort of keep the stress to a minimum. But like I've said before, it's good to push their boundaries once in a while as long as things aren't going to go drastically wrong. There's Custard. And you can see that she's doing much better than she's done in the past with Custard around, where she or other mom cats might have run at the gate or banged on it or done whatever they could do to try to, sort of attack. And she's not doing all of that. So she's doing really well, I think. Now, she still doesn't want them around, and I tried to give everybody treats. I tried to give her treats and Custard and Maggie treats on the other side of the gate, her on this side and they on the other. And that was a little too much stress for her because she started ignoring the treats and just growling and hissing. So we backed off from that. That was pushing it too far. But this is pushing it just the right amount, I think, as far as that goes. So I wanted to mention that we're slowly working on getting her accustomed to the idea of having other cats around, and she's slowly getting accustomed to it. But I don't think that that's a problem that we're going to completely solve before she gets adopted. My opinion is that by the time she gets adopted, she still probably won't be friends enough with the faculty to just be turned loose with them. It seems like she's got a lot more work than that to do. So. If it needs to be done at all. So I don't know that it does. And here's something really important that I wanted to say. That DJ and I need to back up a second. Well, let me just say first what I wanted to say, and then I'll try to explain it, which is that DJ and I both think it would be really cool if someone adopted Flower, the mom, and Corn, the kitten, together. Because first off, that's like a family starter kit. It's great that you can have both the generations together, and because Flower and Corn are going to get along. That's great too. And if you don't already have any other cats, then that's a real good way to do it. We also love it when moms get adopted with their kittens. Of course, we think that is the best. There's Corn over there playing with Custard. Look at him. Learn something from your kid there, Flower. She's not going to learn anything from him because she just turned around. She's like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see him being friendly with that mean guy. Anyway, I think it would be really, really wonderful if Corn and Flower got adopted together. Of course, I recognize that we don't get to make that request. It's not up to us on any level. It's up to all of you. To apply for Corn and Flower together or not. And it's up to the Danbury Animal Welfare Society to process the applications and decide who makes the best adopter for the cats and kittens. But yes, Pat MM, I saw your question on the chat. It does mean that the adoptions are open for this class, so you can apply for Corn and Flower together by going to our website, which is kitten.academy. And I hope someone does. DJ has also expressed her thought that it would be really nice if someone were to adopt Potato and Millet together. Because she thinks Potato and Potato and Millet make a good team. I got a little less investment in that. I think you could do that. You could do rye and potato or any combination of those three. I think would work out. But I think if somebody was going to adopt Flower with a kitten, the number one combination there would be Corn, and the other ones wouldn't be bad either. If you wanted to say adopt Flower with Potato, you wouldn't go wrong. I just think if you're going to go that way, your best bet's Corn. That's what I think. what else did I want to say about that? I wanted to point out again that those applications are open, so you can apply for any of them at kitten.academy is the website. There's no W's and there's no com. It's really just kitten.academy. So feel free to do that. Of course, if you do apply and you do get approved, they aren't going to be ready to be picked up for over a month until we can get them all their vaccines and spayed, or well, spayed for mom and neutered for the boys. There's mom again. And then we get them microchipped. We do all that stuff, and then they're ready to go home. I also need to say, while we're talking about adoptions, I need to talk to you for a minute about Millet. Now, we're still working with our vet, Dr. Katz, and with all of her vet friends to try to figure out if and what needs to be done for Millet's condition, which is that he's got the pectus excavatum or flat-chested kitten syndrome. And I'll be honest, I don't know if there is an official difference between the two, or if they're similar. They're very similar either way. And I don't know if his diagnosis would be one or the other for sure, or any of that. I don't know anything, okay? Here you can kind of see, you see how his chest kind of goes in there? You can, even though it's hard to see, it's very easy to feel. He's got a chest that is very wide this way, wider than usual this way. In fact, you'll see a lot of times he stands kind of like a bulldog with his front feet wide apart because of that. And his chest, of course, very narrow the other way, top to bottom, I guess, as he's standing there. But as you see yourself, and as you surely have seen from him running around, Millet is just as active and healthy and everything as any other kitten. So it might just be the case, it really might be the case that little Millet doesn't need to have anything done, possibly. And that's sort of what the first people that Dr. Katz talked to suggested, was that, you know, there wasn't much to do about it. And they might be right, but I've asked for a second opinion, and she's working on getting one. So that's what we're going to find out. So I will tell you up front, if they come back and they say there is something to do for Millet that we can do, we'll do it. And that might mean that Millet has to stay here longer than other kittens if that happens, because I think the initial plan, or the initial thought, was that we would take care of him and get whatever he needs to have done when he goes for his neuter, and then we would probably have to keep him in a little bit extra long, maybe an extra month or two, while that is resolved before he could go home. So that might end up being the case. If you apply for Millet, you should keep in mind he might not get to go home as soon as the other kittens do. If not, if that's not the case, I don't know. I honestly don't know if it means that Millet would have any extra sort of concerns over his lifetime yet. And when I do find out, I will let you know. But if you are going to adopt him, it's important to know he's got something just a little bit different going on. And you may or may not have to you definitely have to be prepared to deal with it. And I don't know if there's any dealing with it that you'll have to actually do. That's my point, I guess. But like I said, he is every bit as active and healthy and playful and wonderful as any other kitten we've ever had. So, you know, if I were just going on what I can observe, I don't think he's got any problems at all. He's just shaped a little different, you know? But I don't know if that really is the end of the story or not. And I don't know if the end of the story is just, well, Millet shaped a little different, he's fine, end of story. Or if it's more like Millet shaped a little different and we've got to, you know, put him in a mold and reform him. I don't know. But we're going to find out. And when we do find out, and we're still working on it, like I said, I will let all of you know. And you don't necessarily have to let that stop you from applying for him or the other kittens, or like DJ said, him and Potato together is the pairing that she likes. This is Corn. But if you do apply for him, I want you to know all that in advance so it doesn't take you by surprise and you know what you're getting into, okay? If you're getting into anything. Yeah, you get it. You get what I'm saying. I'm done. I'm not going to talk about that anymore right now. The practical upshot of all of that is applications are open. You apply at kitten.academy, the website. You need to apply for flour here, or corn and flour together. DJ thinks that would be the best possible pairing, but not the only possible pairing. If you wanted to take flour with any of the other kittens, you would do well to do it. Flour, as I mentioned right at the start of the close-up, she is a little bit wary of any other cat right now. So if you have other cats, Flower may not be the best choice for you. But if you wanted to start out with Flower and a kitten, oh boy, what a way to do it! I would highly encourage that. Um, and I think you could adopt Flower if you have other cats, but you've got to be prepared to take a long, slow time introducing them. They got to have their own spaces, and it's going to take a while. It really is. So that's something to think about too. Um, that's what I wanted to get across to everybody, and I think we did. Hi, Millet. Millet's climbing around back here and looking at me. Um, where are the others? Where are Rye and Potato? Guess I gotta go look for them now. Let's go find out. There's Ari at the gate. I think they've been so active the last little bit, they were probably, there they are. They were probably just about to settle down, I was gonna say. And look at that. The first time I've seen any of them volunteer to use the hammock here in their own room. Here we are. There's Rye in the hammock. And here's little Potato next to the joy emoji. Hi, buddy. I haven't really seen any of them hanging out on the second level of this cage at all. It's cool that they decided now would be the time to do it. This is the first time, as far as I know. So there's our little Potato. Here's our little Rye. I know they love the hammocks because we have a little hammock in the thing upstairs. I think you probably have seen the pictures of them that I posted on Twitter and on the Discord, where they're in an identical hammock, but it's in a little low sling that's close to the floor, and they all were hanging out in that. And so we know they like a hammock. But this is the first time I think they've discovered that they have a hammock in their room. Oh, I didn't see the question that sparked the answer, but I did just see somebody say that we upload the birth archives eventually. And I probably will upload the birth archive from the kids upstairs. That's Port's kids. Port is the mom upstairs. I will probably upload that, but we did have technical difficulties, and I know I recorded it in at least 3 parts instead of just one file that I can just flip online. So I'll have to put them together somehow, and there were other technical difficulties too. I expect it's going to be somewhat out of sync, and the sound goes in and out at certain places, and that happened live, and I think it was probably the same way in the recording. And unfortunately, I won't be able to do anything about that, but I can at least put the 3 video files together into one before I upload it, which means a little extra effort, which means it'll take a little while before it gets uploaded. But you know how it is, in due time. Look, he's still preloading his chomps. I guess that's just going to be the way he always is. I mentioned that from the time he was a little kitten, he likes to open his mouth way before he tries to chomp something, so he's ready. It's cool. It's smart, right? Saves a little time. He still does it. He still does it. Oh, yeah, I also just see Megalina's response. I didn't see the question about it, but their eyes, I think their eyes have all fully transitioned to their adult eye colors at this point. If not fully, then mostly. Um, so these are his adult eye colors, I think, for little Rye. Hi, Rye. He wants to play with the camera now. And yes, they have all had chicken. In fact, just yesterday, I had a whole bunch of shredded chicken. The shredded chicken I had made when Millet, we were having trouble getting Millet to switch over to food, and I made a ton of shredded chicken. It's been in the freezer, and I got a whole thing of it yesterday and gave it to everybody. These kids love the chicken. All of them love the shredded chicken. And they all like the Gerber baby food chicken, too. Those are good things for everybody. So, yes, they have all had it, and they're big fans. Speaking of things they're big fans of, they spent last night upstairs with DJ in the spa, and they all love the spa too. Even Flower has really come around and will hang out on the bed now a little bit with DJ. And I think it's a good practice for her to get used to a new space once in a while because when we first moved her up to the bedroom, when we first moved her down here, when we first gave her access to the living room, She gets a little extra growly for a while when there's something new. Another thing her adopter should be aware of. She might be a little extra growly when she first moves to her new house, but you know, the thing about Flower is tricky and growly as she can be, and tricky with other cats. She's a total little baby sweetheart when it comes to her people, and she just every time she sees me, she wants to talk to me, and then she rubs up on my ankles, and just wants all the love in the world. As long as you're a human, she loves you so much. It's just the other cats that give her some trouble. But she really is. In fact, she'll let me pick her up and hold her like a little baby, and just give her all the pettings. And she's just got that silly cartoon face. Flower's just great. And I know that somebody's going to find that she's great for them, and hopefully find out that she and Corn are great for them together. All right, I've said that enough. I'm going to stop pushing that because now, if somebody adopts her alone or adopts her and one of the other kittens, everybody's going to be like, oh no, but it's not bad. It's actually good. I just think that she and Corn make the best pairing, but like I said, not the only pairing. So it'll be fine no matter what happens there. That's true. Like Megalina says, they are just over 8 weeks old. They were 8 weeks old on Sunday. Here comes Corn. So cute. Everybody's so cute. It does look like they're slowing down. They've been out there playing in the living room for a couple hours now, I think. Kitten births are best with pineapple, yes. Yeah, you know what? I did. It's the first time I've had pineapple with a kitten birth, but the kitten birth went flawlessly and quickly. Maybe it's like good luck pineapple. Maybe I need to start doing that for all of them. I just need to have pineapple at the ready for the next mom cat we bring in, and I'll just keep it in the fridge. And then when the birth starts, that's when I get out the pineapple, right? Could be a thing. Out there, Corn. So I know everybody would like me to take the close-up upstairs and see the new kids, Port and her 8 orange kittens. I know, but we're not going to do that for two reasons. One is that I got to wash my hands before I go in there, but the other is, of course, that I have the doors and the gate up down here, and I don't want to leave it that way and have the faculty come and cause trouble. So I'm not going to do that, but we'll get them on the next close-up, I promise. Amy in Wyoming, we do a thing every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock our time, that's 10 o'clock stream time, where I open all of the stuff that people have mailed in to go home with the kittens. We call that endowments, the things that all of you send for the kittens. And I open that live on the regular Kitten Academy live stream every Saturday at 10 a.m. So that's what mailbag is. When people say mailbag, they're talking about Saturday morning when we open all the packages for the kittens. And yes, I was shocked that there were 8 kittens too. Zoe and Slammer, NNY. I was surprised. I had been predicting 5 kittens. I thought 4 or 5 maybe if we were lucky. But no, 8 kittens is a lot of kittens. DJ Ark. Can we change Port's name to Portia so we can have all the kids named after Shakespeare characters, please? Oh, that's funny. Again, I know I'm being made fun of there because it's a matter of public record that I think Shakespeare is overrated. It's not that I dislike Shakespeare. I just want to be clear about that. I don't hate him or anything. But people like to make fun of me because I've made the point that I think he's a bit overrated these days. Anyway, It's funny that you say that though, specifically because when DJ complains a little bit that I give the kittens nicknames a lot of the times, and she thinks not so much the problem that I give them nicknames, but she thinks the names that I pick are, I don't know, she thinks they're pretty dumb sometimes. And and she specifically said when she named the mom cat upstairs Port, that she knew I was probably going to end up calling her Portia, and she would put up with it. And I said I didn't even think of that one, but now I'm going to have to do it. So yeah, at some point I probably will. Yes, Bob, exactly. When I called Baba Ganoush Bob, and that did not work out for me, did it? It didn't work out for Bob either. That's a good example of what I'm talking about. DJ has all the names for the kittens, by the way. The kittens upstairs, she's got the names all picked out and ready to go. She's waiting on me right now to get pictures of them because the pictures I had didn't come out right. But I'm going to do that today. That's on my list of things that I'm definitely going to do today. So I bet by tomorrow at the latest, those names will get announced. And even though I know what the names are, I'm not going to give away the theme. I will say that it's not like some of her themes are super stealthy and something you would never guess. But this isn't like that. It's just a good one. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about it. DJ will probably be mad at me for saying that much. It's a great theme though, and I really like it. And she had a few different options too, by the way. And I was like, I don't know, I like this dumb one the best. So you can blame me if it's not as clever as most of hers. Just say it was me. I did, yes, Bodie McBoatface. I got on the chat last night. Was it this morning? I lose track of time. Anyway, I did say on the chat, we're just going to name all 8 kittens because they're identical. You can't tell them apart. We're just going to name them all the same thing. I said we put it to a vote on the internet, and they're all going to be named Bodie McBoatface. That's not true, of course, but that was my joke. I'm glad it landed with somebody. Rachel, that's a good question about whether we use anything in the litter box trash cans to keep the stink away. Not really, but we do use those. The trash liners that we use are the ones that come like scented with Febreze. So I guess that counts a little bit. But we definitely use litter boxes, trash cans that close well, so they stay closed, and that helps enough, I think. It's a good question. Hi, Millie. Hi, Millie. I thought I saw the question go by asking, oh, here we go. Yes, Taylor, is this the biggest litter you've had? Somebody else asked that too. It's tied for first place. Verse had 8 kittens, and we've got 8 kittens here. So that's tied for first place of the kittens that were born here. Now, we did have at least one class that came in that was bigger. That was the trees that came in. That's the class that Maggie's from, that we kept Maggie from. That was 14 cats and kittens that all came in together at the same time and were all related, but they weren't all from the very same litter. So it's kind of a technicality. So we were told that they were all related, though, and I believe they were all related, just multiple litters, and there were 14 of them. So I think that was the biggest of all the groups. And I saw somebody ask the smallest. I think the smallest number that we've had born here in a group was 3. I want to say 3. Of course, there's been, like we brought in Pebble and her mom, Brooke. She wasn't born here, even though she was just 1. I think the smallest we've actually had born here has been 3. Yeah, and I would listen to see Megalina on the chat there. Megalina, if she says something, it's true. So I would definitely take whatever she's saying above what I'm saying. But she says 3 is right, so there you go. Oh, I also think Megalina said that if you calculate it technically, I said in the last close-up that Port had the fastest number of kittens per hour during a birth. But I think Megalina said that technically Ivy might have beaten that record for kittens per hour, but Ivy only had 3 kittens, so it's not quite the same, is it? I think Port is obviously going to win if you find some way to factor in the number of kittens as well as the kittens per hour. But I wanted to just be clear on that because I know Megalina thought that when I said it was a fact for sure that Port had the highest number of kittens per hour, she wanted to make sure that that didn't go out as an just a fact, because technically Ivy might have her beat for kittens per hour. I still think that Port gets the #1 place, of course, because she had way more kittens, and they were just consistently coming out fast. Oh, it's too many fast. So, all right, I'm glad the chat's working today. Thanks everybody for the good questions and the good comments. I really appreciate it. I think we should wrap it up here. So if you want to adopt these kittens, you know what to do. Go to our website, kitten.academy, put in an application. Keep in mind that DAWS, the Danbury Animal Welfare Society, are the ones that process those applications. You have to be able to pick the kittens up either at DAWS or here at the Kitten Academy in Monroe, Connecticut. And they are still prioritizing people that are close. They want you to be close enough to make the round trip as a day trip if possible, or to have really good plans for how you're going to manage it. If you don't, I know the whole world's starting to look a lot better, but we're still on the COVID protocols here, so keep that in mind. Hopefully someday soon we won't be, but we are. So if you want to adopt them, head to the Kitten Academy website, kitten.academy. I know the application there is like a marathon application. It's big, it's got a lot of stuff on it, but do your best. Like I always say, it's processed by human beings. We understand. I said we understand. DAWS understands. And otherwise, if you want to keep watching these kittens and the little tiny kittens upstairs that we didn't see on the close-up, just look for the Kitten Academy live stream here on YouTube. Now in 4K, or if the Ks are kittens, then I guess we're in 12K. Oh boy, that's a lot of K. Check it out, Kitten Academy live stream. I will see all of you for the next close-up. Thanks so much. Oh, I just saw a suggestion for marking the kittens come in at the last minute. Oh my goodness, I was so wrapped up. I'm not going to go into the full detail right now. I just want to say thanks to everybody. We got every suggestion under the sun, and I will talk to you about all those suggestions, what I think of it, and what we're going to do in the probably in the next close-up. I'll get a chance to talk about it. I will say that for the meantime, I have shaved each of them in a tiny spot, which is virtually impossible to see on the live stream, but I can find them, and so it's everything I need for the moment. But I want you guys to be able to tell them apart too, so we're still looking for a way to manage it, and I'll talk all about it next time. All right, thanks everybody.